Mirage is a Spanish movie released in 2018. It is a science fiction drama about a woman and a boy who are able to communicate through an old television. They change the past and create alternate reality. The original movie duration is 2 hours long, but in this content, I'm gonna walk you through the entire story in less than 15 minutes. Warning, spoilers ahead. The story begins in 1989, during the fall of the Berlin Wall. Nico Lasarte, 12 years old, loves to practice his guitar and record himself while playing. His mother had to leave for work, so he was left alone in the house. There was a heavy thunderstorm going on that night. Suddenly, he heard a loud noise coming from the neighbor's house. He checked through his window and saw some violent act. The brave kid then decided to go to that house to check what happened. And he found his next-door neighbor, Mrs. Pietro, lying down on the floor, covered in blood. Nico tries to help, but Mr. Pietro suddenly came down the stairs and he was holding a knife. Nico was terrified. He ran away from that house and Pietro chased him. Unfortunately, a speeding car came out of nowhere and hit Nico. The poor boy died that night. 29 years later, a married couple, Vera and David, are moving to a new house. They have a little daughter named Gloria. Vera, the main character, is a nurse. She also has a close friend named Ursula. Vera and her family live a normal and happy life. While unpacking their stuff, she and her husband found an old video recorder and a TV. Vera played the video recorder, and it turns out that these were belonged to Nico Lasarte, who died 29 years ago. Vera and David invited their close friends for dinner, Aitor and his mother Clara. Aitor told the tragic story about what happened to Nico, but Nico's mother Clara told him to stop. Being curious, David searched the history of his new house on the internet, and he found the news about Pietro, who committed suicide in prison after being sentenced for killing his wife. His wife's body was found buried in a slaughterhouse. Later that night, while everyone is asleep, Vera heard a loud noise. She woke up and went to check where the noise came from, and there is a heavy thunderstorm outside, similar to the one happened 29 years ago. Vera saw the old TV is on. She tried to turn off the TV, but she was shocked, because Nico's face suddenly showed up on the TV screen. Vera tried to turn on the video recorder, but suddenly a lightning struck the roof of her house, and something strange happened. Nico now can also see Vera on his TV. This mysterious lightning created an unexplainable phenomena, which enabled Vera and Nico to communicate through the old TV. Nico is in 1989 and Vera is in 2018. And what even more surprising, this is the exact night when Nico died 29 years ago. Vera showed Nico the news about his death. She told the boy not to leave the house or something bad will happen. Nico ran away. He was scared. But because of Vera's warning, the reality in the past changed. Nico is now alive. The story then continues with Vera, who suddenly wakes up at a hospital where she works as a nurse. But something is weird. Ursula and the other doctor told her to perform a surgery on a patient. Vera is just a nurse. How can they ask her to do it? She left the operating theater, leaving everybody confused. Vera goes to the school to pick up her daughter Gloria, but the teacher there told her that there was never a student named Gloria in that school. She then goes to her husband's office, but her husband does not recognize her. Vera finally decided to go to the police station, and she told the detective that her daughter is missing. She also told the detective about the real thing that happened last night, about a TV and a boy named Nico Lasarte who lived in 1989. The next day, Vera and Detective go together to the hospital, only to find another confusing fact that Vera is actually a very successful neurosurgeon working in that hospital. Her present reality has changed because she saved Nico. In this reality, her daughter Gloria was never born, and David is not her husband. Vera was devastated, desperate, but still determined to bring her daughter back. Meanwhile, back in the past, Nico, who is still alive, saw his neighbor Mr. Pietro acting very suspiciously. He went to Pietro's house to check and broke in through the back door. The boy went upstairs to check the bathroom and found Mrs. Pietro's dead body. History is about to repeat itself. Pietro returned back to his house. Nico was surprised. He tried to escape, but Pietro is already inside the house. So Nico hid himself under the bed. And from under that bed, Nico witnessed something very terrifying. He saw Pietro mutilated his own wife in the bathroom. Vera went back to her house. She needed to find out what happened to Nico Lasarte. A woman suddenly appeared behind her and told her to get out of the house. Shockingly, that woman was David's wife. In this reality, David is married to another woman. David's wife attacked Vera and the light went out all of a sudden. They called the police, but Vera managed to escape in the dark and hide in the backyard. There she saw Pietro, who turned out to be married to Clara, Aitro's mother. Vera hid in Aitro's car to escape from the police. Aitro was shocked, but Vera convinced him that she is not a bad person. Vera told her story and everything that had happened, but Aitro got mad because Vera told him that Pietro, his stepfather, had done a very terrible evil. And at that airport, she saw one suspicious fact that Aitro's uncle, Roman, happened to be working as immigration officer at the airport. Vera and Detective Lara keep trying to find a way how to bring Vera's daughter back and reverse this reality. They know that time is running out. Vera only had a couple of more hours left until the thunderstorm disappears, or she will be trapped in this reality forever. Suddenly, Vera remembered about the news showed by her husband David about the dead body of Pietro's wife, which was buried in a slaughterhouse. So they called the police and went to the location of where the body was buried. The police dug a hole and found a suitcase with human skeletons inside. After doing some tests on the skeletons, the police finally concluded that those were Mrs. Pietro's remainings. The police then caught Pietro, Clara, and Roman. The truth of what happened in the past was Pietro cheated on his wife. He had an affair with Clara. Pietro's wife found out and caught them. She threatened the two with a knife, but she was accidentally killed during the fight. Detective Lara, fear of exposing Vera's identity to other police, told Vera to run away. She also told Vera that he's got some clues on Nico's whereabouts. He gave Vera an address and told her to go there and check. Vera go to that address and found her friend Ursula having an affair with David. Since David worked in the bank, she asked David to track the data record of Nico Lasarte, and Vera promised that she will not tell anyone about David's affair with Ursula. David found the address belongs to Nico's mother, and Vera rushed to that place. And this is where the best plot twist happened. Detective Lara is actually the boy, Nico Lasarte. And in this reality, Nico and Vera are actually husband and wife. So what actually happened to young Nico in the past? He tried to report to the police that he saw Pietro killed his wife. He showed the police Mrs. Pietro's watch that he found when he was hiding under the bed. Pietro told the police that his wife went back to Germany and his alibi was supported by immigration data, which was faked by Roman, who worked as immigration officer at the airport. Since there was no enough evidence, everyone think Nico stole the watch. And his mother also think that Nico had a mental disorder because he keeps telling the story about a woman from the future who talked to him through a TV. Nico then spent years looking for Vera. He didn't know her name, but he remembered her face. Until one day, in this reality, adult Nico finally met Vera at the train station. They fell in love at first sight. But Nico always knew that someday this whole thing will eventually happen. Vera was shocked after she found out the truth. Nico begged her to stay, but the only thing Vera wanted was to have her daughter back. She said to Nico that she had saved his life once, and now it is time for him to return the favor. Then she made one desperate decision. Vera jumped off the building and died. Nico rushed back into his house to find the old TV and a video recorder. He turned it on and communicated with his younger self in the past. This is his last attempt to change the past and save Vera. He told his younger self to never ever try to find Vera when he grew up, so that he and Vera will never meet. Vera woke up in bed and found David sleeping right next to her. She checked her daughter's bedroom and found Gloria sleeping peacefully. Vera is finally back to her reality. Sadly, she also found that her husband is cheating with her own friend Ursula. It was the exact same thing happened in other reality. Vera feels that she still needs to solve the murder case, so she went to the abandoned slaughterhouse and dug the place where Pietro buried his wife. She found the skeletons and called the police. The police detective arrived at the scene to interrogate Vera. And as you all might have guessed, the detective is Nico Lasarte. Nico and Vera are destined to be together. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next video.